their whole relationship apart. So the good news, friends, is that the truth sets men free. I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not so heavy on doctrine that I don't understand the relationship. I believe that every doctrine of Christ is like a pendulum. And in the dead center is where the right is. It's where the truth and the spirit meet. But friends, you and I know how a pendulum swings and what generally happens. When it goes to the middle, does it stop? It tends to swing past the middle, doesn't it? And there have been times in this church's history where the pendulum has been too far to one side or the other. And sometimes I become afraid as I see the pendulum swinging that we are beginning to miss the middle. And so there was a time when we were too far on the doctrine end and we didn't understand the relationship. Relationship, or rules without relationship, equal rebellion. I believe that. But sometimes the pendulum swings so far on the other side that all we want is relationship without the teachings and doctrines of Christ. And that's not dead center either. Friends, the Lord is calling us to have the truth with the Spirit, to have the doctrine with the relationship. And it will be awesome when it comes together. Yeah, has anyone ever heard of Ken Davis? He's a pretty popular pastor, teacher. He related a story one time that was very refreshing to me. He talked about how, as a child, he was picked on and ridiculed. And that every chance these other kids would get to put him down or even physically abuse him, they would do that. And he talked about how just terrified he was to even go to school to experience these things. But one summer, his parents sent him to summer camp. And there was a retarded boy who was the same age as he was. And for the first time in his life, he got to make fun of somebody else. And he found great joy in that because now the table was turned. Now he wasn't going to be the man down. He was going to be the man up. And every opportunity he got, he would make fun of this boy. He would ridicule him. He would look for opportunities to tear him down. And at the end of the week, as all the sleeping bags are lined up at the side of the road and the children are waiting for their parents to come, he was looking around for this boy because he wanted one last chance, one last eruption of laughter so that he could be filled with that kind of arrogance before he had to go back into his real world, which was exactly where that boy was during that week of camp. And as he looked frantically for him, he couldn't find him. But in the distance, he could hear him running through the camp saying, "Good news! Good news!" And he's frantically thinking in his mind, what can I say to make fun of him? What can I say? There's got to be something. He's going to come up over this hill soon. All the kids are going to see him. If I can just shout out one thing, one last cut so that I get that eruption of laughter. And here he comes. Good news! Good news! He comes up over the hill and he says, for the first time in my life, I could not think of a single thing to say. And here he comes. He runs right up to the whole group of kids and he says, good news! Jesus loves me too. You see, in that moment, that little boy understood all the doctrine that mattered. You see, there are people in this world who are hurting that don't even know deep down in them that Jesus died for them. The doctrine of predestination tears them to pieces. Friends, we serve a God who died for every single one of us. His character is revealed in the doctrine of the death on the cross. You see, that's a doctrine too. And as you and I embrace this stuff and understand in our relationship with Christ how far this really goes, what an answer we can give to those who question. Ephesians 4:13 tells us, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Friends, it's an awesome responsibility you and I have, to know the truth. And I'm not saying we know all of it, don't get me wrong. But the truths that you and I know, what an awesome power we have to share with other people. What a freedom we can give. The truth that sets men free. It's awesome. Jeremiah 8:20 is a very grim picture, one that I do not look forward to. There will be a time, friends, that I hope to stand inside of a glass city. But there will be many who stand on the outside. Jeremiah 8:20 says, "The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved." Friends, you and I have that good news. You and I have something that all those around us need. I pray that if you get anything out of this sermon, I pray that you just get the urgency to share the truth as it is in Jesus.